Hey, welcome back to Top 5. We're excited to kick off this show. This is our first one I think we've ever done live and in person. So it's exciting. I am here with Bridget Moore, who is one of our awesome broker associates at CB&A Realtors, my brokerage. And we are going to be talking today about referrals and talk about the top 5 things. And Bridget is really an expert on getting referrals from sources. And you hear people talk a lot about, oh, I want a referral-based business. I want a referral-based business. It's a lot easier said than done.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's taken you years to get to the point where you really are developing these great relationships. And so I invited Bridget in to talk a little bit about that. But introduce yourself and tell a little bit about your history, how we got here.
Okay, so I have been licensed right at 14 years now, and had no plans to get into real estate at all. I was corporate America, and realtors were actually my clients. So they were the ones that were, telling me you should really try this business. I thought, no, not at all. I like my paycheck, my insurance, my 401k. But it got to a point where I was capped out. I was, feeling like I was traveling all the time with the other job, and thought, you know what? At the point I was, I think, 26 years old, and I thought I'm just going to try it. If I hate it, I hate it. I move on. I've tried. So never looked back.
That travel piece is tough, right?
It was hard.
It sounds cool, and when you're young, you're like, yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah.
And then you're just like, this kind of sucks.
It does, because I was gone, I feel like 3 weeks out of the month.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point in my life, I was looking to settle down. I was, dating someone seriously, and I was always gone.
Right.
And as dumb as it sounds, I wasn't even with my dog, like, this sucks. So
no, when I was doing it, I legitimately had a conversation with my dad at one point.
Yeah.
That I might give up my apartment and just, when I was in town, stay in like one of those extended stay suites.
Yep. Yeah.
Because it just didn't make sense. Yeah. So anyway.
Totally.
Yeah.
So
you got your license.
Got my license and have been doing it ever since. And the best thing I ever did, I did shadow a top producing realtor pretty much my first year, which helped a lot, from just best practices, but more importantly, what not to do. Let's not spend all the money and the time on something that I don't want to reinvent the wheel. If it doesn't work for you, it probably won't work for me.
Right. So much there's a lot of that, right? You don't think about it as you're first getting started, but when you don't know what does and doesn't work, everything looks like it might work.
Right. Well, and they teach you, spend the money everywhere, spend thousands of dollars every month on farming in these neighborhoods. Right. And for me, that's kind of where referrals came into play, because it didn't have a lot of extra income. And I thought, nobody's going to believe a 26-year-old girl, really, at the time, who has no experience, just because they mail into their neighborhood. But it cost me $1,200 to do it.
Right.
Every month.
Right.
So, and I just didn't have that ability to have that budget. And so I did that for a while, and then slowly started to grow my team. We're now 14 years later, a team of 8, and we've got 5 realtors, 3 support staff. We focus residential, commercial, and we're just loving it. Awesome. So best decision I made.
So how much of your business today is referral based?
Right now, we're right about 76% for 2020.
So I always, my default answer when somebody says, oh, my business is 100% referral. Oh. My default answer, generally speaking, is, well, then you're not talking to enough strangers. Right. You need to try harder.
Yes.
And so, but I've always told people is that somewhere in that 70, 75 range is kind of where you want to be. And then the rest, you get off sign calls, you get off of the internet leads, whatever that is.
Right.
And so I'm assuming you didn't start at 75%.
No.
That's something that you worked up to.
Right.
So ask Bridget on Top 5 to give us her top 5 tips on building up a referral base.
Right.
So let's start with number 1.
Okay. Well, I'll start from when I got licensed, because then it was very different than it is now.
Sure.
I had, again, very limited budget, and I thought, okay, where can I get the best bang for my buck, if you will? And I thought about people that I already knew.
Yeah.
And because I didn't have $1,000 a month to just mail out blindly to people who have no idea who I am, aren't going to remember me, and quite frankly, they're probably just going to throw it in the trash. So I thought, okay, who am I already working with? Who is my attorney? Who's my hairdresser? Who's my banker? Who's my nail tech? Everybody.
Yeah.
Who's my esthetician? And I went to them and I said, look, I want to create a relationship where, we're already doing business with you. I'm already, utilizing your services and giving you reviews and trying to get you additional business. I'm now in real estate and I would love to be the realtor you refer. It was very genuine. It was very organic. And it grew from, literally probably just my first immediate, okay, who am I using currently, to let me list out a top 100 of industry exclusive businesses that I either know someone. Attorneys are great examples, CPAs. They know people all the time that are in need of real estate services.
Attorneys are great referrers.
Amazing. And they're the best clients. A lot of people, I feel like they get a bad rap a lot, but I love attorney clients. And I did. I went to them and I said, look, you're my attorney. I will give you anybody that I know that needs, some kind of, legal help. I want to refer you. And it just very organically became where I created my own sphere of referral partners almost.
So tell me about the expectation setting part of that, because I think that a lot of people, like I have sold a couple of my escrow officers that I've used in the past. I've helped them sell their and buy homes.
Right.
And when I asked them, they're like, no one ever asked.
Right.
And I think we just assume that, if our lender has a referral, they'll send it to us, or the title company has a referral. But there is an element of, hey, if I'm going to do business with you, this has got to be a two-way street, right?
Completely.
So if I'm a new agent and I'm going to go out and I'm going to talk to an attorney,
right?
What does that conversation look like?
So I try to put it more on, I make it less aggressive, if you will, where I'm bringing it back on me. And I say, look, I really like to work with people that like to work with me. I like to work with people that, I feel are reciprocating business referrals back and forth.
Right.
I would like to provide that to you. Would that be something you'd be interested in? Because then you're not saying, hey, give me business.
Right.
You got to pay to play. Like it's a very genuine relationship that you're building. That's what you want. You want someone that you're able to give a referral to honestly as well. And most of the time they're going to realize like, yeah, that makes total sense, because I think most people believe in reciprocation. You want to help those that are helping you.
That's right.
So if you look at it from just
and if it's somebody you really want to do business with, and not somebody that you just picked out of the phone.
Right.
Right.
Right. Yeah. Oh yeah. No, it's somebody that I know ahead of time. I'm not just blindly, calling strangers.
Right. Okay. So you said industry exclusive, so it doesn't matter who they are. Could be your accountant, could be your attorney, could be your title company, could be, doesn't matter, right?
Right.
We're just going to go out to one person in each of these and say, hey, this is what we want to do.
Yeah.
And you have 100 of those.
Yes.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
How do you manage that?
I have a binder. I swear to God, it's green because it's money.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
It's the truth.
I love it. I love it. All right. So that was the first thing you did.
Yes.
You started building that. So then what came next?
So then it became, okay, now I'm starting to get these referrals. And, I need to show appreciation to the people who are sending me the business. Because I didn't have past clients at this point. It's all new clients, if you will. So I made sure anytime they would even send me like, hey, I gave so-and-so your name. Or if somebody would call me and say, hey, Mr. Attorney gave me your name, immediately I'm sending them a handwritten thank you card, maybe a Starbucks gift card, just something to say thank you, like just genuine. And it's not much at that point, $5, just, I appreciate you thanking me. And then when it turns into your clients that are referring you over the years, because it takes a while, the average homeowner stays in their house, what is it? It just went up, didn't it?
It's up to almost 10 years.
Yeah, 10 years. So you're figuring for every closing, it's going to be another 10 years before they buy again.
Right.
So,
how do you stay valuable and how do you stay relevant in somebody's life for a decade?
And that's really what it is.
Right.
Because you want to then treat that client that you've been given, quite frankly, the absolute just top level service possible, from the whole experience. People talk about closing gifts or this or that, which are great, but sometimes it's a whole family, that are moving in. Maybe they have dogs, maybe they have cats. We always make sure that we were trying to be very personable with the interactions that we had, and then following up after closing. Because literally becoming their friend. And I've had a ton of people ask me, well, how do all of your clients become your friends? But my thought is, how do they not? Because you've got to be, hopefully you're working with people you like. I mean, that's the,
we've all had that one or two.
Yeah.
You know,
it happens.
I'm never going to talk to you again. Thanks for
Right,
lying
like,
with me.
see you later.
Yeah.
But hopefully you are staying in touch with them in some capacity, not just an email newsletter once a month, or hey, happy birthday from a mass unpersonalized card once a year or something.
And that's I think when you boil it all down, I think that's the piece that a lot of realtors miss.
Yes.
Because it's not sexy.
No.
And we talk a lot about creating engagement, creating conversations, but it's really hard to create engagement and create conversations with people that you don't regularly speak with.
Right.
If you're once every 6 months, I'm going to just say, hey, do you have anybody that wants to buy or sell?
Right.
It's a whole lot easier if that person picks up the phone and is excited to hear from.
Right. Yeah. And if you know about them, then you can say, I mean, it's even random stuff where, oh, I saw this and I thought of you, because you're treating them like a friend.
Exactly.
Because I think that's where people miss that connection. They're treating them like a client and what they think a client should be treated like, when you need to be treating them like you would your friend.
Holy crap, that's a great point. We should just develop a whole training class on that. Right there. That's awesome. I like that. Good. So treat them like a friend, not like a client.
Yeah.
That's great.
But even like vendor partners, like you were talking about, I mean, that's such an untapped business where they're not really marketed to in that manner, because I think something I'm not, fond of from a realtor standpoint, where realtors, their perception is they look at them like, oh, they're just trying to get my business. Mm-hmm. Well, why aren't you trying to get theirs?
Right.
Nope, you're totally missing the mark on an untapped avenue. That's in my opinion. Yeah. I've had so many lender and home warranty and title company that not only are they my clients, but they're referring me business. Yeah. So, and they see how well you handle the transaction also. So,
and that just eggs them on to refer more in the future, because they get to see just as many handle them poorly.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. So you have to be on your A game.
Yeah.
You can't suck.
Absolutely.
So
you can't
don't suck. Yeah.
There you go. All right. What's our next one? So with that one, we're talking about client appreciation.
Yes. Right? So, and then we also do parties. We genuinely love our clients. Again, we treat them like friends. I try to do something quarterly based on different niches that I may have. My husband loves to shoot. So our, clients that like to shoot will go rent out a gun range and just take, our top 20 referral partners. And I say partners, but it can be, anybody, a past client, a vendor, whomever. I'll do Botox and bubbles, maybe one quarter. I'll, rent out a hair salon the other quarter. We'll do a family event another quarter, depending on, we have so many varying different types of clients and friends. So that way it's something for everybody.
I assume this is all organized in the CRM.
Oh yeah. Oh, it is.
Right?
Everything's like super tagged.
Yeah.
I will say we're very, very OCD with our tagging. Mm-hmm. Some people have like 20 tags.
Oh yeah.
And they're all ranked, like a report card, A, B, C, D, and F. Yeah. And I still follow up with the S because I'm too competitive to not. Until you die, I still pretty much follow up. I really do.
Hey, till you buy or tell me to die.
Right, basically. Yeah. And then we do one big client party at the end of the year for all of our clients that bought or sold or refer to someone that bought or sold, and just have a good time.
Very good. Yeah. Very good. So client appreciation. So we started out with finding people who would send us referrals.
Yeah, like your top 100.
Now that we've turned that into clients, we're showing appreciation both to the referrer and to the client.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. So now what's our third bullet?
So, another big way to get referrals are Facebook groups. That is something you've got, so especially in our area, they're very prevalent on recommendations and referrals. And so again, it's back to what's that word?
Reciprocity.
That one, reciprocity. If I'm tagging my Botox girl 20 different times, she's going to see that. She's going to know it. She appreciates it. So when someone comes and asks for a realtor, I'm getting a tag from my Botox girl.
Give me a Botox.
Right? it's really, it's awesome. I'm not gonna lie. I can give you a referral.
Yeah, thanks.
But it's genuinely wanting to help the person asking for the referral. And then more importantly, when you are tagged, again, thanking the person, sometimes we get 50 tags on one post, thanking every 50 people for the referral, but then having a real connection with the person asking it, versus just here's my card, whatever. It's relationship. And I think that's where a lot of people forget in this business. Yes, on this end, it's transactional, but on the other end, it's relationships. They are people. Yes. And they're scared, they're excited. Sometimes they're sad. Sometimes they're getting divorced. Mm-hmm. Sometimes they're happy, they're getting married, but they're people. And when you treat them like people, they respond. And that's huge. You've got to have the relationship, especially with those groups, because you're competing with 40,000 other realtors in our area. So
in our area.
Yeah.
Have you ever created a Facebook group? Like, what does that look like?
I have created
do you have
one.
Like one for your clients or anything?
I do. I don't use it super often. I probably should do that more. But I never want to come across too salesman-y like. Right. And I've always kind of struggled with where is that line. Yeah. I tend to have I prefer the one-on-one, calling them saying, hey, let's grab lunch, let's grab coffee. I'm near you right now. What are you doing? But I do have them.
I think if you're not delivering value, you're almost using it almost like a CRM, and it comes out canned and steady.
Yeah. But it's a great place. I mean, friend everybody especially your clients. People get scared to friend their clients. I'm not really sure why, except maybe they don't want them to see them
pass out on the floor
drinking or something like that. But the thing
they're posting a bunch of political stuff.
Yeah, be careful with
you
that.
You gotta learn how to publish, right?
Well, and you can also filter. You can filter who sees what.
Create lists.
If you want to do that, create your lists. But it's such a great tool because their birthdays are in there, anniversaries are in there.
That's what I tell you about it. It's like even if they don't post their birthday on their profile, if you scroll down far enough, their mama wished them a happy birthday. Yep. Somebody wished them a happy birthday. Their wife or husband tagged them in the post. Happy birthday to this guy, whatever. Mm-hmm. It's there.
Or if their dog passes away, we'll send them a gift. Yeah. I mean, it's because we can all relate to that. That sucks. Yes. And just to see that you saw it, you acknowledge it, you're, truly sympathetic towards them. That's a game changer, I feel like.
Yeah, agreed. Okay, awesome.
Let me see what else.
All right, so Facebook groups. So we've got finding people who are going to have reciprocal relationships with you from an industry standpoint.
Yeah.
We've got client appreciation and referrer appreciation.
Yes.
And now we have the Facebook groups. What do we got next?
So charity organization. Okay. I'm big with giving back to the community, and with that creates other opportunities that allow you to introduce you to people that are like-minded and have the same care for causes as yourself. It can be anything. It can be if you're into motorcycles, if you're into dogs, foster shelters, and whatever it may be. But it opens you up to a whole other network of people that are, again, similar and like-minded, but you're also working together often for whatever cause it is that you're working towards.
Right. But when you're around people who are similar and like-minded, I mean, we've all heard the mantra that people buy from people that they know, like, and trust, right?
Yes.
And so ultimately at the end of the day with that, what you're really doing is just making friends.
That's it. Yeah.
You're making more friends, right?
And that's, I think, really the key point of it all is you want to work with who you like, and people work with who they like.
Right.
And so when you find those people, seek them out, first of all, and then build those relationships, and it comes organically.
Right. I think, when we talk to newer agents, especially, but if we have somebody who moves here and they don't really have a big sphere of influence or something like that, as opposed to, and nothing against these organizations, but as opposed to going to a Chamber of Commerce meeting, or a Rotary, or whatever that looks like, it tends to be rooms filled with people handing out business cards.
Right.
So what we see happen is they'll go for a couple of months and then they just get tired of being one of the people handing out business cards.
Right.
And so what we always talk about is it's a little bit of a longer play, but go do something that you love to do.
Well, that's it.
And have fun. And you're going to go back. You're not going to come off as the cheesy guy with a business card trying to get business. You're going to make friends, and ultimately that's going to lead to the business card.
And I think too, don't go into it with the expectation to receive anything, because that comes across too. Like if you've got to do something that you're genuinely interested in. For me, I'm a member of Junior League of the Woodlands. I love it because it gives back to so many different charities that I feel strongly about. But even if I got zero business from it, I'm still good because I love what I'm doing with that organization. And I do love the women that are a part of it. Getting business is the cherry on top, you know?
For me, it was rodeo.
Yeah.
So, we were just literally just talking about rodeo before we started recording. And, I love going down there, hanging out with those guys, doing what we do to raise money for kids. And I just so happened to have gotten a fairly decent amount of business out of that over time. But that's not my primary motivation. I don't go there to get business. I go there because it makes a difference in the lives of kids who are going to be able to further their education. It's fun, and I've made a bunch of friends. Right.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
If you go in with the expectation, they're going to feel it. And then nobody wants that. No. So now you're just selfish.
Right.
So,
and we talked to experienced agents about this a lot because you'll see somebody who comes in the business and they start at zero. Right. And then you see their business kind of pick up, but at some point it kind of starts to plateau. And that's when we say, okay, it's time for you to go make some new friends. Yes. Go talk to more strangers.
Yes.
Right.
And have the uncomfortable conversations.
Yeah. And so that's one of the things we talk about is like, what do you like to do? Now go do something.
Yes.
Go join a cooking club. Go join a fitness group.
Yeah, we never do those. But somebody
do
I'm
the
sure
cooking,
loves
but not
that.
the fitness. So
yeah.
Good.
No, I agree.
All right. So that's 4. Number 5.
And well, I think we did. So we've got client parties, the Facebook groups, the top 100.
Okay.
The charity organizations, and then just working with those that work with you, kind of your partners, your vendors, or even your hairdresser, for example. I mean, all of my hairdressers I've ever used have bought real estate with me. Yeah. So
I think there's, I think we underestimate a lot of time that if we're spending money with somebody, we should at least have a conversation with them. Yeah. And set them up to be on a campaign. I tell the story all the time. It took me almost a decade of follow-up, but I finally got my doctor to buy a home from me.
That's awesome.
And then in the 3 years that followed that, they sold that home, bought another home. We helped his son buy a home, sold an investment property. His sister bought a home, sold that home, were referred to a referral partner in Austin, but she bought another home. So it was 8 years of nothing, and then all of that in the span of 2 or 3 years.
I think that's where people, agents, realtors, they get discouraged, understandably so, because it'll be 2 or 3 years if you're working on someone, but they're not ready yet.
Right.
It's not the time frame where they're ready to move. And even somebody said it in our Facebook group. I can't remember which realtor it was, but they said, how big is Facebook for your business? Because I'm not getting anything, but they had only been doing it maybe a year.
Right.
Like I've been on Facebook for 10 years.
Right.
So
it takes time to figure it out.
A long time. Yes. Yeah.
Which groups are good to be a part of, which groups aren't.
Yes.
Where you're going to be able to spend your time. Because you could theoretically spend all damn day on Facebook.
Yes.
And there are some agents who do.
Yes.
And are none the better for it.
Right.
Right. So there has to be some sort of strategy behind
Absolutely.
what you're doing.
Yeah. And I'm big on time blocking. I mean, if I don't block time, I could be on Facebook for 6 hours. Right. And I'm down watching a squirrel video. Like I don't know how I got there, but I'm there. And
it all started with trying to get my hairdresser. Right. Now I'm watching a squirrel video.
I don't know. But you do.
For the record, I don't have a hairdresser.
No. Well, that's all right. You don't need it.
Okay. So I have a top 99, not a top 100.
That's all right. Well, Catherine might.
Yeah, there you go.
So.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for that.
Absolutely.
So I think that the word that was probably repeated the most as we went through this list was the word relationship,
Yes.
because it's not just a referral, right?
No, right.
It is a relationship with the people who
Right.
are doing this. And that's,
Mhm.
yeah, if you're married, if you're not, whatever, we all know that relationships take work,
Right.
right?
And time.
And time,
Yep.
and
Nurturing.
yeah. And so that's the key, is to look at it from a relationship standpoint. I think.
Agree. Yeah.
Yeah, great. Awesome. Well, thank you for coming on
My
and sharing.
pleasure. Thanks for
Yeah,
having
love
me.
it. Bridget is always willing to come on and talk about stuff. And she just happens to kick ass at referrals. So I wanted to
Oh,
bring that in.
thank you.
So thank you. Thank you for watching. And we'll see you next time on Top 5.